Gray, Rock Cod Rexa, Corey Sandin. Most current scoop on what's happening. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the studio here in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup, right here next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. We have a great guest for you. Our good buddy, Captain Andy Cates from the Red Rooster 3 is here. Literally stepped off the boat yesterday. He's going to tell us all about the fishing and more aboard the Red Rooster 3, so you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
Inside information is everything on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. How fun is it going to be to have Captain Andy in the studio this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Andy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
You, man. And it's just fresh off the water, right?
Fresh off the water. Fresh off the flat calm for 15 days water.
That's like a dream come true.
How'd you make that happen?
It was magical, though. I'll tell you. It really was. From the moment we left, I think that the first day driving down, we had 14 knots and all that. And after that, it was just grease.
Just
calm.
grease all
that nice texture on some days, but it was really a blessing. 100%.
Right. That's so cool. And how was fishing?
Fishing was good. We it was another blessing too, because we stayed on the lower banks and offshore outside the ridge. And in order to be able to do that, you got to have that kind of weather too. But that's where we made our fishing and made our catch was all offshore for, the entire time. So
that's cool.
That also, it made that whole thing doable because of the weather. So it all worked out.
Yeah. And a lot of big ones, huh?
Yeah. Wow. We had some nice fish.
Crazy.
It wasn't yellowfin like everyone was expecting, but we'll take blue.
Yeah. We'll take blue.
Yeah. We love a blue.
Like what was big fish?
252.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then it tapered down from there, but I think there was 7 big fish, over 200 pounds. So that was nice, and some other opportunities, of course, but there was days where it was pretty slow. The fish moved a lot, there was days Brian was down there with me for a couple of days on the Independence, and there was days where we would drive for 35 miles.
Wow.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, what happened? Yeah. Where did it all go? You
go to sleep and it's under your boat. You wake up and it's nowhere near there.
Yeah. And we drive in opposite directions and then reconvene and oh boy. And then end up driving in one direction and then magically end up back on it in the afternoon. But there was definitely some mornings where you woke up and you're like, so what direction do we go? So it was entertaining for sure. And without the weather, like I said, we would have you just can't pound around for 35 miles offshore. And even in 14 knots, it just gets, okay, have we had enough of this yet type thing.
But you didn't have to deal with that.
No.
Yeah.
And then shut down at night. The fish wouldn't bite at night.
So they're biting during the day.
Yeah, we all tried.
How user friendly is that?
Yeah. So it was, and that long range, people are more apt to do the daytime thing. They're not into the nighttime thing. Although it would have been really nice to be able to attack that fish with the flat falls. But I think we got a few up till about 8 o'clock at night or something, and then it would just disappear. We'd kind of drive around and look around, and it was like, well, where did it go? Maybe with more coverage, if you had more boats, maybe you could get back on it in the nighttime. But I think one of the boats had, maybe 8 fish or something after dark, and that was probably the most that I had heard of, from the 3 boats that were down there. So
yeah.
But it was a daytime gig, and when you got on it, boy, it was really a show.
That's so cool.
And it showed a lot, you'd see them rolling and slurping and finning, and it was
some of the video I saw from that. It looked like a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. So,
yeah.
I mean, and that's exciting for people as well. You stop and they're like, oh my God. Look at that. And everyone's scrambling to get the kite on it and this and that and get a bait out. So no, it was fun. But the Lower Banks thing, there was a little bit of fishing down there the week before we got there, and we did the whole gamut, and you just seemed like you'd get a couple here, a couple there. We went all the way down to Jamie and got a couple there, then up to Finger, then back to Morgan. We kind of did the tour down there, and it just, it's just that time of year. You get in late January, getting close to February, and even in the heyday, the Cowtown, even in the heyday, it was, things were tapering. There's something about a calendar down there, there's something that tapers there in that last part of January where it's just, you just see a smattering. Everywhere you go, you see a smattering. So, we went through that tour and then went up and then completed our task on trying to catch everybody a nice big tuna, which was successfully done, but it was a
really got everybody a big one.
Everybody got a nice big tuna. Big being 175 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
Yeah, it was a big tuna.
So
that was kind of like, woo, we got that one. So that was a successful mark. And then a lot of people probably saw I posted the medevac that we did just because I thought it was so interesting, and it wasn't so much the passenger itself. What I was trying to do was show the efficiency and the professionalism of our Sector San Diego U.S. Coast Guard, because we didn't really have to do a lot to put that together. It was basically a phone call, and then there was more to it than that. They had to come back and do the flight surgeon had to get involved, and then he makes the decision on whether it's worth it, because it's a risk, man. It's a lot to bring down a helicopter like that with guys on it. And then they had a support plane that was circling us, and I had heard that the support plane came from Oregon.
Come on.
So they flew the support plane from Oregon to Sacramento, fueled up in Sacramento, and then they met the helicopter down there 220 miles south of San Diego. So there's a lot of logistics, and then they take care of the airspace with the Mexican Navy and this and that. So they handle a lot of it. And the idea here was to say, hey, if you do have a medical problem on the boat, and it happens, man, look at the guys.
How many times has that happened on the Red Rooster with you?
I can't even count, but I know it happened once this year. It happened once last year, but prior to that, we didn't have a lot of medevacs, but at least over my career, it's been at least 15 times. Wow. I would say, honestly, whether it was a from local to home or whether it was an actual helicopter medevac, but it's been at least 15 times.
And it's life-saving.
Absolutely.
And in this case, it really saved the guys.
It really saved him, and this was a case of an infection, and people need to be, as everyone is very cautious with infections these days. This was a case where, had we have not got him back there, it would have been dire.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As it was dire, but
yeah.
We basically saved a limb.
Yeah.
I mean, those
and maybe saved his life.
yeah, absolutely. Sure. But it was noteworthy that he was.
That's
well. So
to watch the efficiency, it's even just a little snippet from the video of the efficiency of the Coast Guard and how good they are of that.
Oh, it's a sight to be seen, man. I mean,
it certainly helps with flat calm weather too, right?
100%. No, let me restate that. Everything helps with flat calm weather, from the galley to the helicopter. Yeah, everything's nice with flat calm weather.
But just like you said, though, how cool to document something like that, and you just know every passenger that goes with you, you have that in the back of your mind that that this fleet and you guys going to take. Nobody wants a problem to occur, but should it do, you got that in your back pocket.
Yeah,
you all got to see how smooth it went.
Yeah, all that that worry. There is a chance for evac, successful evac with our government that we have. It's pretty incredible, really. So that was intriguing. And then, it just so happens that after that, I thought, oh boy, what do we do now? And then we went down and we found another batch of tuna that kept us busy for the next afternoon and the next day. So it was like, and they weren't as big as we'd hoped, but when does that ever happen? Yeah. I just wish they were a little bigger, but in any case, it was,
but you had enough time that you didn't,
well, it was entertainment. We had entertainment for that afternoon and then the next day, which was great. I mean, that's what we were looking for and hoping for. So it all worked out. And then, which was kind of a crazy thing on an extended trip like this. A lot of people, remember the 4 days of travel, and we packed it up. We were home the next day.
That's pretty cool.
It was like, whoa.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. That is so cool.
It was different. It was definitely different.
Big news at the Red Rooster is you guys are working on online booking now.
If you can believe that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, if you can believe it. Yeah, obviously we're 15 years behind, but
well, I wouldn't say 15.
Well,
maybe 5.
Okay, 10, yeah. But anyway, and it's coming along here, and we put up an interim site which shows the schedule for this year, but the new one will, be like most of the other boats where we can book online and save people that hassle of not being able to book online. So it'll be nice. And I don't want to, blow it out of proportion. I'm sure we're going to get it up and it's going to be like, oh, this doesn't work right. Oh, that doesn't work right. So sure. It's just going to be kind of a learning curve. And if
what's your forecast? Maybe another month?
Well, I think it's going to be next week, really.
Wow. Okay.
But, I mean, if everything goes right, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll keep you posted here on Let's Talk Hookup of when you can book a trip on the Red Rooster online, see availability, which is a huge part, because you guys sell out.
There'll be an inventory like most of the other boats have. I have an inventory, and you click on, and boom, there you go. So
yeah, it's cool. So speaking of which, are you doing a little maintenance now for a little while?
We are. Normally we do our Riviera cruise trips, and we didn't have enough interest in that this year to do them, but I am going to reinstate them for next year because I like doing them and they're a lot of fun. And I just think it was a great trip for people to do outside of sport fishing.
Totally.
And, the Searchers on trips right now, his ecology trip. So they're still being done out of San Diego.
Absolutely.
So we're going to put a halt on it for this year and do a little bit of maintenance and try and get the boat ready for the beginning of May, and then hopefully this fish moves up and then we can skirt on some trips for May, maybe get a month of May, doing the offshore thing. And then
the way this bluefin is, maybe you get some April going, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's all weather pending. If we have this weather, I mean, this is like monumental.
Yeah.
I mean, it's February. Look at this. It's crazy. And all of January, we had that one little deal in December where it was like, ooh, it's raining, but was it really raining? I mean,
it's raining for us.
Yeah. Like, ooh, get the sandbags, it's like, yeah. And I, maybe taking that a little lightly. There was rain and there was some flooding and this and that, but compared to the rest,
significant rain for San Diego, shall we say?
Yeah. Startling.
For a full 4 days.
All
4 of them rain.
But now look, but the whole weather pattern is weird. Look at the East Coast right now. They're buried in minus 20
Yeah.
or 10 and
Well,
snow and stuff.
But how about your Montana trip?
Yeah, I just got back last night from Montana.
Not in a t-shirt, catching a trout on a dry fly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it wasn't dry fly fishing, but we saw fish rising, which was weird. But yeah, fished actually 2 days up there and caught trout. One of the weird experiences was Friday. My buddy Chris and I, it was 60 degrees and I said, well, what's the kind of the normal here? He goes, like minus 20.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of it, like an 80-degree swing. But Friday, we went to a lake, which is a tributary lake of the Missouri River there outside Helena, Montana. And we launched the boat, and there was actually ice on the lake. So we're breaking. I've never done this before. Breaking through ice on the boat, right? I have a little Alumacraft up there, 16-foot Alumacraft, and kind of running through ice. It's like,
get out of here! You can miss me with that.
Yeah, like what? Yeah. 35 degrees in the water. One of the things I wanted to go up there for is to install the Garmin Live Scope, and we usually got Live Scope to get on the fish, and we had like a 20 fish. Like in 2 hours, we had like 20 fish. Once we found the fish, which I think without the Live Scope, because it's that time of the year, it's kind of tough to get on fish. I mean, you can get on the spots and stuff and maybe catch one or two, but not get into a bunch. But it's game changing technology when it comes to that thing. But we got on the fish, and then the weather warmed up by 3:00 in the afternoon. It was literally, I was fishing in a light sweatshirt in Montana. In February, end of January,
right? February.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's not good because coming back through Salt Lake City yesterday, the hills are all brown.
Mm-hmm.
Up there, it's not good from a snowpack thing, but out of we'll pray and hope that they get more, but it's not going to be good for
that water offshore. We were fishing in 70-degree water. Coast 240 miles from home, the water was still 66.5.
Wow.
And that's for February, that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to start, everyone starts with the El Nino, chant, but I don't know what this whole thing is about. But I mean, but you got to remember too, it's also been flat calm.
Right.
Water, so I think it's through, and then we'll get a real picture of what this,
what's going on.
This water really is.
Yeah. Rooster 3.
Yep, always one of the best times and a great time with you. If you want to join us, it's at 833-288-0973. We are standing by at the fan to take your phone calls this morning. Again, 833-288-0973. Or you can send us a text. Text the show, man. Such a huge popular part of Let's Talk Hookup now. If you want to text in your questions to Captain Andy, the only way to do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download if you don't have it already. It's the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. If you missed yesterday's show with Rosie and you want to catch up with a hot tip story, just dial in the archive shows on Let's Talk Hookup app. They're all posted with photos. A lot of fun there. And again, it's the only way that you can text in your questions to the show. When you do, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number is all we need along with your question in case you're the winner of the big prize. And man, are we giving away something cool today. One lucky caller or texter, and that always gets decided. Andy's going to flip the prize coin at the end of the show, and that'll designate whether the winner comes from the caller or the texter side. Is going to win a brand new AFTCO Slammer waterproof dry backpack, courtesy of our friends at AFTCO.
Have you seen those? Really, so cool.
Yeah, really nice dry bag. Awesome. Yeah, they did such a good job. All that AFTCO stuff is so killer.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, a great prize. If you want to get through, 833-288-0973, or fire us up a text on that Let's Talk Hookup app. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everything about Katmai Lodge is first rate, and it should be on the bucket list of everyone who enjoys fishing. This is Brandon Bono. My visit to Katmai Lodge is an experience I will never forget. Constructed on the banks of the Alagnak River in Katmai National Park, the lodge is a fishing dream come true. The experience is incomparable. Whether bait casting, spin, or fly fishing, you'll find king, sockeye, chum, coho, and pink salmon, plus trout, grayling, char, and dolly varden. Their guides are amazing. Days are exciting and fun with hot lunches and snacks served on the river. The brown bears, bald eagles, beaver, otters, and other wildlife you see is amazing. The lodge staff is great. There's complimentary wine, beer, and appetizers before a fantastic dinner every evening. Take it from me, a trip to Katmai Lodge should be on your list. For information, visit katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. Once again, that's Katmai Lodge, KATMAI.com.
Hi, Bob Hoos with Costa Sunglasses. If you've got young anglers in your life who are just getting hooked, Costa's got something made just for them. The new Next Gen collection is built for long days on the water and takes Costa's iconic performance for smaller faces. Check out Schoolie, Costa's first 8-base wrap for smaller profiles, and Street Heat, a bold everyday frame with micro side shields that keep glare and spray where they belong. Help the next generation see what's out there and protect what's out there. Available now at CostaDelMar.com and select retailers starting at $130.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sportfishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sportfishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties, schedule check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of Southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning with Captain Andy Cates from the Red Rooster 3. If you want to join us, like Pete said, 833-288-0973 is how you do it.
Yeah, phones are packing up.
they are.
The world famous Jeff Hamby is standing by at the fan studios. 833-288-0973. Let's jump into it, Rick.
How about John calling us from Long Beach this morning? John, thanks for getting us started here on the phones with Let's Talk Hookup.
Oh, man, it's great to be back in California. Man, been in Texas for 2 months, and it was cold. But
That's like a life sentence.
Right. It is a life sentence, right?
A short one, though.
Yeah, Texas doesn't ever get to 4 degrees, but man, yeah. But anyways, my question is, can you get away with fishing a TAC 16 with 65 for those tuna?
For the big bluefin?
170 pounders?
Well, you know, most of the guys we'd have them rigged up with something comparable to like what we give out for our rental packages, and something to attack that might seem kind of small, but for that 100 to 150 pound fish, most of the guys were using a Valiant 800 filled with Spectra and 100-pound top shot. That was kind of the fine-tuned rig. And then guys started to move up as big as a 12 or a 30, but I think you're in the ballpark, you know, for that. It's just, you're going to want to probably have a little bit more on the back end there rather than 65 pound, you know, maybe go with 100 pound, and then you can then you'd be a little more versatile on your top shot. You could use 80 or you could use 100, or if you had to, you could use 130. But a 100-pound test it makes it very versatile if you got that on the backside, because then you can change your top shot and you have a little bit more variation on that. Just opens up the field a little bit more rather than starting with light. Then it's like, ugh, So anyway, yeah, on a big tuna like that, especially fly line, where you got a lot of line out there. That's the other thing too. Guys had to use a little bit bigger reels just because on a long soak like that, before you know it, you got not all that much line on, even though you were bragging about having a half a mile of spectra on there. Next thing you know, you're like, oh boy, I don't have a half a mile anymore. How'd that happen?
When it takes a quarter mile to get a bite, your line goes away real fast.
Yeah, exactly. So a long soak situation's a little different. And, you guys talking about the deep drop where you're fishing 300 feet, but, that's a lot of line too. But when you're long soaking and you're staring off, stargazing into the horizon there, next thing you know, you've gone through quite a bit of line just soaking a bait. So keep that in mind.
What a cool rig to get to provide for the people like that in particular. That reel's not too big to catch a yellowtail and not too small to catch a 175 pounder. You talk about a versatile piece of equipment to have in your hand.
It is. And we've got some great CalStar rods too to match those, and some other CalStar rods to match the next that 50 to 80 pound test. So, we really got some spectacular rental gear that goes out, and it is utilized. And,
does it stay on the boat?
No,
No. But you have it in the office.
Yeah, we have it in the office, and people come in, and I always, because what people forget is that because of the state of the art gear, it's constantly evolving, and what you had 4 or 5 years ago, maybe not so great.
Yeah.
Maybe not functionality, but just, for particularly what's going on at that time, there's been a lot of innovation with guys fishing, with jigs, fishing lures, spoons, as you would call them, for the nighttime fishery. But, you got to kind of stay on top of that, because it's not just winding it in, it's the comfort of winding it in. Right. It's huge. And with the rail rods and with some of these lighter, reels that have the punch, they may be littler, they may be lighter, but they certainly still hold the strength and the drag capacity and line capacity for fishing a big tuna deep offshore. So you got to keep your eye on that, and we try and keep it updated for any of our rental packages. So that's a good place to start. And even if people have, the traditional, who doesn't have 10 rods and reels, I'll say, hey, but you might want to take a look at this. At least get this outfit, because this is probably the one you're going to be using 90% of the trip.
Gotcha.
So try and point them in the right direction so it's comfortable.
Right.
I was going to say, speaking of CalStars, I know we talked about it a little bit in here, and then last time John and Chris were on the show, they've been talking so much about developing their new jigging rod, and they put so much effort into it, and it's been over a year in the making, and all the prototypes. And I saw a photo of a giant tuna on a jigging rod on board the Red Rooster 3.
Yeah,
that was really cool. I know it's still in the prototype phase, but boy, it sure looked like at least that version was working just fine.
Yeah, that was Dylan and Kevin Underwood on the boat. He's another one of the captains, both of those guys actually, but they've been helping Chris a lot with getting this, trying to figure out what's going to work best. Number one, comfort, but also functionality as well. And that was actually one of the lighter rods.
Really?
That was on 60-pound test. And the reason that it was 60-pound test is because Kevin was using the 100-pound test one. Wow. And Dylan's like, oh, man. So now I got to yank on this. But, just the fact that he was able to dominate that fish with that rod, and that was prototype. And that goes into a big factor of these test type things that they're doing. And Chris is pretty excited about it. He was awesome. Like, oh. And Accurate was excited too, because you've got that 800,
right?
That small reel that packs such an incredible punch. They're like, oh boy, that's pretty good feat.
Good stuff
to get that kind of a fish on that kind of an outfit. So take a look at some of the rental gear. I know most of the boats in the San Diego fleet will have rental gear, and don't just go, oh, I got my own. At least see what they're using, because that's what's gonna make it so that you're comfortable if you're going to be out there scratch fishing, whining and grinding. that might be your whole trip, whining and grinding all night long, you know? So you want to make sure that
you got to have the right gear for stuff like that.
It's just like the Wahoo thing, you know, guys come down and they have the Wahoo gear, but a lot of guys have it to where it's a comfortable, long-handled, high-speed gear reel that's comfortable so that they can cast and wind all day long. You get the wrong outfit, man, you're smoked. After an hour. You're like, ugh, forget it. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, the tackle beats you before the fish even have a chance to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and with the state-of-the-art gear that people are constantly evolving with, the number one thing is comfort. So that a guy can come out once a year and be able to tackle this fish. I mean, I get it. The crew runs around, they can catch big tuna and this and that, but it's the angler that needs to have this state-of-the-art gear so that they can tackle this, and it is available. That's what everything
that's
is.
Cool thing
that's
about
the value is the angler being out.
So just ask the office, just like if you think you're lacking gear,
or if you can contact the owner or the captain, you know, and just say, hey, what are you guys using this year? You know, and a lot of guys do that with the terminal tackle. They'll say, hey, what's the hot jig? But even as important as the hot jig is what's the hot reel, what's the hot rod that I should be using so that I'm comfortable, so that I can do this, you know, because there's a lot into it.
Well, you have a great text on Rick.
I thought so. It's just like a very nuts and bolts question. Perfect from John in San Diego. Says, what a great show today, guys. I love hearing from Captain Andy Cates. Andy, what's your preferred knot for connecting braid to fluorocarbon? It seems like there's some new in vogue things, but also some long history of the knot broke, don't fix it rules. Do you also recommend ring hooks when you're fly lining?
Well, with the knot, the mite knot's my favorite.
The what?
The mite knot.
Might not.
Might not.
It might not hold.
It might not hold.
It might.
It might.
It might.
But it might not.
You know, I mean, there's so many different knots, and on those connections too, there's so many different ones now. And you know what I tell people is the one that you're comfortable with. You know, if you've learned it and that's the one that you feel confident using, then that's going to be the one that you're going to use. So, I mean, you could go on and people say this one's not great, that one's not great. Oh, it's too bulky. Oh, it's too this, it's too that. But, you know, every boat that you go out on is going to have their favorite knot. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're going to get it dressed up and they're going to say, hey, this is the knot that we use. This is the knot that we have, feel comfortable with. So you might want to check with the boat that you're going on. Because me telling you what our favorite knot is might not be the favorite one that going out on like the Pacific Queen or something. Gotcha. You know, they may have something else that contradicts that whole thing. And then it's like,
and what's the one that you use?
We like using that RP knot is good.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have to.
There's an FG knot.
The FG knot. There's another one that the guys use that's real easy to tie.
Yeah.
Obviously,
what do you tie a hook on with? What's your knot to tie?
I just tie a San Diego knot. Yeah, that's my deal. You know,
tried and true.
Yeah, and
easy to mess.
And if I'm tying the kite on, I'll do a double San Diego. You know, but you know, you're talking to someone that
you're running the boat.
There's so many variations. Yeah, and the guys have a lot better connection. The crew has a lot better connection with that. But you know, like I said, that your best bet is to see what the boat that you're booked to go on. You know, just make a quick call and say, hey, what connections are you guys using?
Right. And you'll learn it on the boat. When you get on the boat, don't worry, the crew will take care of you.
Yeah, no, they will. They will.
Yeah. Hey, I have another question here, and it's from Martin in Los Angeles. He says, how does the bunk selection work on the Red Rooster?
Well,
you're all staterooms.
Yeah, we're all staterooms. So there's two people in a room. We do have some trips where there's single rooms, but of course there's a additional fee for that. But we have 16 rooms and there's two people in a room, so it's automatically pretty comfortable. What most people do is if they have a friend, and this is kind of clutch, you know, if you're going on an 8-day trip and you've got John that you've been fishing with for 15 years, obviously that's the guy that you're going to want to room with. But you can look at our layout here as soon as we get this website out, and it'll have the layout of all the rooms from bow to stern. And the two upper rooms, you know, there's rooms that on most of these long range boats that are up top, and it's great because you have better access to the deck and the galley and this and that. But you got to remember, it can get loud. on the upstairs room. So
Yeah.
I personally, I like going mid.
But a lot of guys like the upstairs. I don't. I like nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Down even next to the engines, like to just like the roar of the engines, just like a soothing.
The humming of the engines. But everybody has a different opinion.
But like guys, they like being on top because they can just jump out and fish, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a little bit noisier at times, but it's okay.
Or if you're a guy who traversing the stairs is a little tough on your knees or something like that, it's nice to just be able to slide in, slide out.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones. And that's another good point is if you're, because a lot of the rooms have stacked bunks, where there's one on top of another one, and they're not sky high, but that might be something you want to say, hey, look, man, I'm having a hard time getting up and down from the bunk last year. Do you have anything that's on the mid-level so I can just slide myself in? And that's a common question. So you might want to ask that when you call, if you are booking.
Yeah, I don't, at my age now, I don't jump into upper bunks very well anymore.
It's dicey.
Yeah.
Especially
if there's a little rock and roll.
Yeah. We have these little fold out stools, that we put underneath the sinks and even that, and most of them have like the rooms have like a bench that you step onto to get down.
But you'll accommodate, the bottom line is you'll accommodate whatever the passenger needs.
As we can, So that's the other thing. But it's a really good question because, we even have bunks where the guy's, 6'6", and it's long enough. Some of them are long enough. Some of them aren't, so those are really good questions to ask, especially if you're going to be out for 8 days, man. You're not comfortable. It sucks.
For sure. Hey, let's jump back on the phones. You want to get through? Jeff standing by, 833-288-0973.
Brian in San Diego is up next here on Let's Talk Hookup. Brian, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, guys. In the fishing off season this year, I've been doing some reading, and I've come across some information regarding the moon phases and fishing. And I'm curious, with the amount of experience and time in the water Andy's had, what he thinks about moon phases and for tuna especially, and whether it plays a role in the fish bites and counts. And there's obviously thoughts both ways to it. It matters, or some people say it doesn't matter. And I'm really curious to see what Andy says. And thanks for taking my call.
Well, hey, that's a great question, and I do have a good answer, but it is based on opinion, like anything like that. Personally, I prefer to fish towards the full and not through the full. And it just seems like things get a little bit squirrely on the full. But see, then again, to contradict that, we've had seasons where we're waiting for the full, especially for the bluefin, where they weren't even around and then they'd float on the full. You've heard that phrase, float on the full. I'm going to have to say from my experience this last week that during the full, the 3 days, 4 days during the full, things were definitely sporadic, definitely. And, if I had my choice, and this is just from what I've seen in the past, I have no idea what's going to happen this summer or this fall. I have no idea. By rule of thumb, for wahoo fishing, usually wahoo move in just before and on the full, if that helps with that. Yellowtail is a little bit less squirrely. Bluefin tuna right now, I would have to say going towards the full, and yellowfin tuna probably the same as far as the tuna species go, at least right now. But like I said, I mean, this is something
changes.
Yeah, it changes.
So
that's
you
what
said
makes
that
it so interesting.
You said that your bluefin tuna was pretty much all during the day on this trip.
It was all during the day.
So what gives, man? That's totally opposite. Is again like
I don't know.
Gives? It was all at night.
I don't know.
Let's not read into it and just be happy. If I never
nighttime
yo-yo jig yellow bluefin again, I'll be just fine with that.
But see, that's what makes sport fishing so interesting. Totally that's and like I tell the people, every single trip that you do, whether it be a 6 day, an 8 day, a 15 and 18, whatever it is, not one trip will be like the next. Even if you go to the same destination, not one of them will be the last trip. It's crazy, you know?
So was it when you'd get on some of these schools, was it biting? Was it like biting really well?
No.
Or was it biting like bluefin?
No, they bite like bluefin.
Yeah.
You'd have to drift along with time and then get a couple bites. And it was a pick, but they were big, you know?
Big.
So it was like, careful what you wish for.
Like you said, average size was like 170.
I say we just glossed over the fact that every single passenger caught 170-pound fish.
Yeah, no, they're big. So it's like, careful.
You only need one of those.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah, I mean, after the guys caught a couple of them, you know, they were like, "I'm good," you know, and I don't blame them. And you know, I mean, we did make adjustments to do something different. It just didn't work out. But anyway, yeah, I hope that helps with your question. But as far as booking a trip based on the moon, it's hard, you know, and
go when you can.
Yeah, you go when you can, and it's just difficult to try and do that. I remember years where that fish out at the hurricane bank, you know, it was all full moon fish. Personally, if I don't have a problem going to the hurricane bank on a full, because I've seen where that's been where you want to be on a full moon. So that's one of the destinations that I don't have a problem with.
Sure.
But there's a lot of places where I'm like, full moon, things are going to be weird.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is if you're on a long enough trip, it's really only 4 days.
Yeah. You'll be there before it. You'll be there after it.
You're right. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. And hopefully you've caught enough fish prior to the 4 to where you can just maybe catch 1 or 2 during the full and you're stoked.
There it is. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great info from Captain Andy. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at Fine Tackle Dealers.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportfishing.com.
Get ready for the most exciting sports show of the year, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show, presented by Geico. Now 2 great dates and locations. First, the giant 16th Annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, March 5th through the 8th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Then, the first annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts, taking up the huge fairgrounds at both locations, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Seminars featuring some of the top names in the industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, freshwater bass, trout, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. Thursday, March 5th to Sunday, March 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, and in San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Presented by Geico. Check sportfishingfestival.com.
This President's Day, your San Diego County Ford dealers proudly salute you during the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get limited time deals across Ford's award-winning lineup. The lineup features the versatile Ford Bronco Sport and the rugged Ford Bronco, built for every adventure, the capable Ford Explorer, and even the iconic Ford Mustang. It's your chance to save. Find the perfect Ford SUV designed with the power and utility you need now during the President's Day Sell-a-thon. Everything ends February 16th, so don't wait. Hurry into your local San Diego County Ford dealers today.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing with Captain Andy. What a fun show today has been already, and boy, lots more coming, including finding out what's going on the water, because it's time for the Catch Report, sponsored by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up your car, your truck, or your boat with the lowest in gas and diesel prices. Do you know that Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on ice and snacks before your trip? Over 40 snacks for just 89 cents, as well as sandwiches, frozen bait too. They have ice at nearly half the price of the others, at only $3.99 for a 25-pound bag. Plus, you get 100 pounds of ice for free with a 35-gallon fill, and the best car wash in town for just $6. It's Summit Gasoline, free ice for our Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest prices at the San Diego Sports Arena. I was in line yesterday. Perfect scenario. I go to leave Let's Talk Hookup yesterday, and the low fuel light kicks on. Quick cruise over and got all that low price Summit fuel, man. It was
in line. They have 27 pumps, so you didn't have to wait long.
No, it was perfect. I drove right up. Weekend too. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That is such a score of a place to have. Yeah,
that's the one by the sports arena.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so cheap.
Lowest prices.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just
great service.
Like the corner spot at my house was like almost $1 a gallon more. It was just
Do I want to tell you how much gas was in Montana?
No, you don't. Quit. What are you doing?
$2.65.
What are you doing right now?
Well, we voted in
Thanks,
that.
useless.
We voted in that dollar tax.
Sure am stoked about that.
Yeah. Well, careful
Just
about
think
those
he's running for
props.
president, right? Yeah.
Be sure to read the prop.
Yeah.
Next time. In the midterms, read the prop.
Yeah, right. Hey, we got him. Captain Brian Woolley of Dana War Sport Fishing is on the line. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good
morning.
morning. Happy Sunday.
Hey, Willie.
Holy cow, are we lucky to live where we live, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not kidding.
Beautiful. Even if we have to pay.
Well, hey, for
Take
us
your
on the
$2
We pay for it. Don't think it's free.
No, absolutely, yeah, definitely, no doubt. But hey, some good bass action along our stretch this week. I mean, again, it's so hard to realize that it's February here. You know, our water temp 61 to 63, which is the warmest we've seen it in a couple winters. I mean, it's hard to even say winter, but you know, this time of the year, it's crazy, and everything's still kind of biting. Everything's still kind of relevant. Surface action on the live sardines made for some fun calico bass action for our half day guys. 3/4 day guys got in some of that mix as well this week. Rubber lures catching fish, plenty of sand bass, sculpin, whitefish, and things like that for guys that wanted to drop down to the bottom on that half day stuff, maybe out a little bit deeper, 10, 12, 15 fathom, stuff like that, catching those little whitefish and sculpin over some hard bottom. But again, the amazing water temp, very consistent as well through our stretch. The 3/4 day guys, a little bit more sculpin, whitefish, sand dabs, still kind of poking around out in that deeper hard bottom, catching some of that stuff. Again, it's been consistent catching out over that stuff. 3/4 days have also been mixing in a little bit of that bass fishing, kind of getting out in the morning, catching their sculpin, whitefish, and then sliding into the inside there along Pendleton, fishing either inside there on the kelp or over some of that hard bottom and catching that same mixed bass. And as far as our halibut front goes this week, still a few of that flatfish caught on the drift trips and on the open party trips. I would say that for our halibut derby, we're seeing better results coming from, or at least right now, coming on the open party trips. You know, guys are buying in for $10 or whatever in that derby and seeing some of that fish. I know last month's winner came on an open party trip. It's just with this nice weather, there hasn't been a lot of like current pushing one way or the other. So it's hard to have the boat moving as you kind of need in order to, get a good halibut drift going. So it's just been a little bit of a mix up there, but hey, there's still plenty of time. Got a whole month ahead of us here for our February guys to kind of get on that train there and catch some fish as well. So looks like there's a little weather hiccup this week, a little bit of moisture possibility, but hey, fishing's good. I don't think this mild water temp is really going to go anywhere. I think it's going to stick around and we're going to see some more good fishing through that. So if you guys want to hop on a trip with us this week, give the landing a call. Our number here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web as well at danawharf.com. And I'd say, if you want to come this week, just plan on making those reservations. I know today's a Super Bowl, but 3/4 day boat didn't get off the dock, just probably because everyone wants to watch a football game. But still, those reservations are important to help, build that trip to get away from the dock. So you can't just kind of show up in the morning and hope to hop on a boat. Call ahead. It's really important, and we can help you get out on the water that way.
They want to watch the football game or Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
I was going to say, we don't even have a team.
Yeah.
Or the commercials, maybe, right?
Who knows?
There you go.
Yeah. What a stretch, Willie. I mean, what a stretch of great fishing and great weather, huh?
I mean, it's been perfect. Like, boat work's been a breeze because you've been able to paint in probably the most perfect weather you could ever ask for painting your boats, and catching's been great too. So it's been a good winter, productive wise, both ways. So
love it.
So hope to see some of those guys out on the water with us this week.
That's awesome, Willie. Well, great job as always. Sure appreciate everything you guys do at Dana War Sport Fishing. One more time, shoot us the phone number if somebody wants to make that reservation, get that boat off the dock and go fishing.
Cool. Our number here, 949-496-5794.
You're the best, buddy. Appreciate it very much, Willie. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Roger that, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you later.
All right. Thanks a lot for that.
Sounds good. Hey, phones are packing up. You want to get through? 833-288-0973. Let's jump into the phone.
You got it. John and Escondido is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. John, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. So my couple questions is I've never had the opportunity to fish on your boat. Are you going to be at Day of the Docks so people have an opportunity to maybe walk around the boat and take a look at it? And then what's your longest trip that you guys have during the year?
April 19th is Day at the Docks.
April 19th. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on maintenance. That's why we're usually shut down during Day at the Docks, is because the boat's all hammered, getting redone. But we are going to have a little different maintenance schedule. So there's a chance, and I'm sure Catherine's going to be. Is Catherine still doing that?
Well, not really. She's retired, but they have a whole team of other people.
Oh, okay. Everyone's going to be hammering me about that dunk tank.
Oh, yeah. You are the favorite target in the dunk tank.
Targeted species.
Yeah. I don't think they do the dunk tank anymore, do they?
I haven't done it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I got wiped out. Anyway, back to your question. The boat, if we have a chance to open the boat up and have it so that you guys can come down, we will. I mean, of course, it's great marketing, and we like to have people come down and check it out. And the longest trip that we do is a 16-day. We have a 16-day trip that we do in January. That's a little bit of a modified trip this year.
That's the one you just came in from.
No, that was a 15-day ride down, ride back. The ride down, fly back will be next January in the beginning. It leaves on the 2nd, comes back on the 18th. So that'll be available. And then the June heat trips, a 15-day, and then we have a trip in March 1st. That's a 15-day trip. So the majority, the bread and butter trips are definitely the 8-day trips that stretch all the way from September all the way to November.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the PCS show?
I'm going to. I think we're going to set up.
You guys
going
to have a booth?
Yeah.
At Costa Mesa and San Diego?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
But definitely Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's a good question.
All right. Cool. Hey, let's continue our. Thanks, John, for the call. Let's continue our catch report. Surf guru Gundy Gunderson's on the line. Good morning, Gundy.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Excellent.
Hey, we got I got some pretty good fishing. We're same situation here. There was some 63.5 degree water there off San Diego, and we have our winter species, but they're biting a little better than they would be. We don't have that cold water kind of deal. So not too bad. More good weather, strong tides, the water combined for some better barred perch action. Barred perch were the top dog this week. Most anglers reported limits or near limit fishing. And as usual, better quality fish up north, Ventura, Oxnard, Santa Barbara, scratch fishing for halibut. There was a handful of legal fish up to 30 inches for those, putting in their time. A little better in the bays and lagoons and on the beaches. And then the full moon also put a few striped bass in the count. There was a couple caught off Ventura there. Another one off that Oceanside jetty. That seems to be a spot to look for one. And like I said, 63.5 at San Diego. Hook, line, sinker reported very good barred perch fishing. Quality improving with a few fish in the 10 to 12 inch range. Gaviota, Haskell's, Goleta, Carpinteria, 5th Street, all the typical places, real good. The grub bite was good. A little bit of swell this weekend kind of slowed things down, but overall pretty darn good. 4 to 8 pound striped bass were taken off the Ventura River mouth there, so that's another spot where we've reported fish in the past. Just Fishing reported good perch fishing in South Bay beaches. Smaller models, 4 to 6 inch, with a few kickers. The Hermosa Pier was a hot spot there. Big Fish reported good perch action. Both Chica, Huntington, Gulp, Grubs, Lugworms all working there. A 12-pound halibut taken off Dog Beach on a white drop shot fluke. And then finally, Pacific Coast reported more live bait halibut in the bays and lagoons, and that was kind of the best thing going there. Guys are making smelt, fishing them on the Carolina rig, kind of staying in the deeper water near the mouth of the bay, mouth of the lagoon, working with the tides, and they've been finding fish to 34 inches. That was the top fish this week. So bust out the old umbrella net, or get the little tiny gold hook sabikis and make them smelt, and you'd be surprised at how that live bait will turn things on.
Man, I love it. What a good call too, and what a fun way to do it. It just takes a little bit of extra savvy. Like you're earning that bite, catching bait, bringing it, making it, fishing it, and then rewarded with a big halibut like that. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. How big are those
makes a
halibut?
difference this time of year.
34 inches?
34-inch halibut?
34-inch halibut, yeah, very nice one.
Well,
I think
nice
that came out of Carlsbad, I believe.
It's a big fish. That's
So,
what,
you know,
20 pounders, something
you,
like that?
You get so
18?
used to fishing. Yeah, you get so used to fishing lures and stuff that you kind of take your mindset out of the live bait thing. And, the other thing is go to the bait receiver with a little bait sled, made out of a boogie board, and put a little slap of live anchovies in there and just work the little harbor, and you'd be surprised how good the fishing could be.
Man,
I love it.
Gundy, always a great report. Thank you so much for your hard work and your efforts, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
All right, everyone enjoy the Super Bowl safe and sane.
All right, thanks, Gundy. Appreciate that very much. Yeah. So back to the show circuit you're doing. So you're definitely going to be PCS in Costa Mesa, which is beginning of March. Yeah, and
we have a trip that leaves on the 1st, but
Now, are you running the trip?
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, remains to be seen. But there'll be a Red Rooster representative at the show.
Yeah. I like the idea that Del Mar thing. Is that going to be something that's going to get some traction?
Oh, absolutely.
It's
this
right
year,
here.
since they took it
we're
over,
pumped.
it's coming back. So
Yeah.
we're pretty stoked about it.
This will be the first year that the people who put on the PCS show brought it back to Del Mar, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
I like
We're
that
super
idea.
pumped.
Middle of March.
I'd go up to the Del Mar show just to go up there. They had that
Hanging out.
Hunter Steakhouse sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll come back.
Yeah, those are choice.
Yeah, of
man.
course, that
And
Del Mar show, of course,
and the-
March 19th through the 22nd.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan.
I mean, that would be.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Cedros Sportfishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at cedrosportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's cedrosportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Are you ready for reliability? Then you're ready for a Yamaha outboard. And there's no better time to jump on board than during our Ready for Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2026, eligible new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboards get 2 additional years of warranty protection for a total of up to 7 years of warranty coverage. Plus, Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboards come with up to $200 in dealer credit. Get ready to enjoy Yamaha reliability with a new outboard today. Visit your local Yamaha dealer for details. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2026. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
When you're pursuing big game fish, the right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon Technostabi TSX 1440s deliver rock-steady vision, even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
What's up, guys? It's Braden Soprennett, bringing the full San Diego lifestyle to your radio. Sports, culture, vibes, it's all right here. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod, Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Pete Gray here along with Rock God, Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego landings of Port Loma. You can even see the Red Rooster from here, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, no, this is ideal here.
Captain Andy Cates is here from the Red Rooster, having a good time talking fishing aboard that fantastic platform for sure. Legendary.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We're having fun talking about it. We're having fun talking to you. If you want to join us on Let's Talk Hookup this morning, another full hour coming your way. The way you do it, 833-288-0973. Jeff is standing by, ready to take your phone calls right now. It's been a very fun morning. We got lots of time left for you. In addition to calling us on the phones, you can also send us a text. Text the show. It's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. And all you need to do is text in your question to Andy and make sure you include a name and a phone number in case you win that killer prize at the end of the show. We mentioned it at the beginning of the show, giving away a brand new AFCO Slammer waterproof backpack, courtesy of our friends at AFCO. It's a dry bag style backpack, an awesome piece of gear for one lucky caller or texter at the end of today's show. And again, if you want to get through on the phones, it's 833-288-0973.
Yeah, indeed. I have a great text here I wanted to read for you here, and it comes from Darren and Menifee. Wow, weather we haven't for Pete and Rick, it's amazing. And Captain indicates on the long-range trips, besides the target, tuna, yellowtail, wahoo, other exotic bycatches that you see on those trips. And he says, can't wait for PCS.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the question is, what other
other bycatch? Tuna, wahoo, yellowtail. What else do you catch?
Well, the nuisance of the trip that was, believe it or not, the nuisance of the trip that was mixed with some of those bluefin schools were the Dorado.
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of, it got exhausting after a while, but everybody caught what Dorado they wanted to keep for the trip. And some of those, the beach area, some of the guys made it out to Aleos Rocks and fished yellowtail for that particular time frame. And that's kind of even for a trip down to the Hurricane Bank. Boats will make stops, either on the way down and try for bait, try for yellowtail. Not always the ideal time of year, but that's a stop that can be made or made on the way back. Say you have great fishing or slow fishing, you can go back up and try that and do that type of thing. So, but on this particular time of year that we just experienced, the bycatch and Lower Banks was absolutely corroded with marlin. It's not your apex species, but it was fun to pull on. Yeah, they're really fun to pull on for a day. It's super exciting for a day, especially when everyone's got one on.
Yeah, and they're all jumping all over the place.
Jumping all over the place. Everyone's going bananas. It's like, oh, wow, this is fun. You don't want to dedicate a week to it, but and on that note, with that marlin fishery down there, this thing has been just building and building over the last, 6, 8, 10 years, this marlin fishery. And that's the apex fishery down there.
Is it really?
Oh, 100%, man. You get guys from
Wow.
Costa Rica, you guys from all up and down the coast that are going to that Magdalena Bay area for that.
They want to catch
strike.
100 a day,
Yeah, no,
numbers,
for the for the volume, and it's spectacular, and a lot of the yachts that used to go down and fish tuna, no more. They don't. They may go try one day, but they're not going down there to do that. They're going down there to sit up there in that bay at night and then come out and catch 50 marlin.
Yeah.
And the boss is just pumped, and all
Sure.
the kids on the boat, they're
jump in the
pumped.
water and swim with them, take pictures.
Yeah, and get Dorado, and there was
Yeah.
a stint in the fall there where they had pretty good wahoo fishing in there too. So that variety in there was available
Fun.
at one particular time.
You ever jump in the water?
I have, but there's
Of course, Captain jumping in the water.
not all
real
that
well,
great.
right?
No, I can't say.
It's like, wait, there he goes.
I have, but it was usually because there was something wrapped around the prop
Yeah.
or something.
Gotcha,
It wasn't for
sightseeing.
No, it wasn't for recreation.
Later, boys. I'm putting it in.
Yeah,
I'm jumping
heading in. Heading in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, that whole that whole area down the main event is the mix of different species of fish. That's what makes it so appealing. Big tuna to yellowtail to Dorado, wahoo. And of course the mighty marlin.
The mighty marlin.
The mighty marlin.
That wahoo bite that you were describing there. We had several of completely echo what you were saying. We have a lot of customers that go down there just for doing that, and it was a fun week or so of complaints of like, well, this is ridiculous. We can't troll our marlin lures. The wahoo take everyone away from it was.
Oh, darn.
It was so good. It was so good for a little stretch. Those guys were like, well, we lost $200 in lures this afternoon because you put them
Too
back.
many
They'd have
wahoo.
a 3 or 4 way attack on wahoo, and they take them all away, and they put them back out, and the same exact thing would happen again. It was a pretty wild time.
Yeah, they were considered a nuisance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
And the nuisance, they were like 75 pounds.
Yeah, they're giant ones,
So
totally.
so it wasn't like you could just shake them off either. It was a huge burden.
Let's hope we see that again. Hey, 833-288-0973. You want to get through, have a chance to talk to Andy? There you go. Let's jump back in the phones.
We got it, man. Let's talk to Steve. He's calling us from Lakeside this morning. Good morning, Steve. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just want to get a plug in to the Red Rooster and Andy. Year and a half, not last season, but the one before, I took my wife on the Mexican trip to go whale petting, whale watching, and all that. And I wanted to give her a taste or let her know what long range fishing is, because and we didn't go fishing, but just to give her a taste of how great it is and why I talk about it so much. And really had a good time. The boat wasn't full. It was really nice. And I got to say the crew was on their best behavior, because I've been on the boat where there's no women, but they really treated there was families, and they were just the best. The chef was fabulous. And I want to encourage people, if you haven't done it, it was such a great trip.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. We are going to put some effort into those next year for 2027, and get on that marketing plane as far as those go, because I think they're spectacular trips too. And you mentioned women, but those trips, it got to a point where we had 2 ladies' heads and 2 men's heads. You had to split it up because it was 50-50.
That's great.
And that was kind of the birthing of the whole thing. Was I got these fishermen that come out and their wives are at home. They don't want to go out and stomp around with 30 guys,
Right.
So it made it, and the appeal was to take your wife out and go and get into a ponga and go pet whales, which is extraordinary. It doesn't, to the fishermen, it sounds like, oh yeah, we'll go check out some whales. But when there's 50 of them and they're pushing the ponga up out of the water underneath you,
Because they're so friendly, right?
yeah, and you're petting them and hugging them. That's the apex when you hug or kiss the whale. That's like,
Right.
oh my God, it's
Yeah.
divine. It's
Yeah.
a divine moment. But that was something that I wanted to, and we did have a lot of our loyal anglers that brought out their wives just to come out
get
and
that experience.
Yeah, and get the feel for what the boat is and the amenities
Sure.
on the boat and how comfortable the boat is.
How spoiled we are in the long range
And then
fleet, right?
and then the girls would get off the boat and they'd be like, "Oh, I see. Really hard at it out there on the fishing trip. Yeah,
hardcore fishing.
Oh, you
trip, right?
poor thing.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I get it. And that was kind of the idea behind that, was to let everybody get an opportunity to enjoy the amenities and that experience. So
That's cool. Well, I'm
thank you
glad
for
you
that,
got a
Steve.
chance to go on that, Steve. Thanks a lot for the phone call.
Thank you
this
very
morning.
much.
You have a good text.
I
huh?
thought so. It says, hey, what a great show, guys. I've been intrigued by the Red Rooster 3 for many years, and I would really love to hear a little bit more about the boat. Andy, could you give us a little bit of the background of the boat, the amenities and the features? Everybody says it sets itself apart from the fleet. I was wondering if you could tell us what your favorite parts about the beautiful boat is.
That's a good question. I mean, a lot of the boats, it's a Bill Poole built boat, so it's in a long line of long range sport fishers that are out of San Diego. This particular boat was built in '82, and it's a smaller sister to the Royal Polaris, and it was built for extended day trips, being up to 18-day trips. So the all the amenities and the comfort and the room that's available on the boat seats, up to 31 people. On those longer trips, we take 23 people, so there's even more room. But the way that it's set up is there's 16 staterooms, so you get that privacy. If you're going to be out for even a week, it is a big deal to have a nice, comfortable stateroom downstairs or even upstairs, but downstairs. And the air conditioning and just the overall comfort is a big part of those. You're not exactly roughing it when you're out on the boat. But I mean, there are periods where, you get into weather and it bounces around pretty good and this and that, which does make you feel like you're the mariner out there dealing with the elements. But, for the most part, in this day and age, a lot of these long range boats, they cater to that. They'll try and stay out of the weather. We don't necessarily make an effort to pound through weather so that it's uncomfortable. Comfort's a big deal, just like I mentioned with the tackle earlier, that the comfort of the state-of-the-art tackle. And that's what we do with these long-range boats, is we have state-of-the-art amenities on board that make it comfortable for people that come out and have a nice vacation. You got to remember, it is a vacation. It's sport fishing. You're not going out on a commercial death march. You're going out to
vacation.
You're going out to get a nice fish that you can get a picture with.
It's like the ultimate vacation.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You're supposed to get off the boat and be like decompressed. Wow, that was bitching, man. What a great trip.
The first long range trip I ever went on was with Frank aboard the Royal Polaris, like long trip. And anyway, he said when he was one of his speech, he says, "Take your watches off, because we'll tell you when to eat, when to sleep, when to fish." What an ultimate deal that is for somebody who's like running time all the time. Oh, I'm late. Oh, I got to be here. Take your watch off and don't worry about what time it is, because it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it really is a spectacular vacation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do it for a living because I'd love to go out and do
You're the one that has to have the watch on.
Yeah, I'm the one that has to have the watch on. But the boat it's a really comfortable big boat, and it's really nice. And the galley amenities are fantastic. And the probably one of the most upsetting things that we have on the boat in this day and age, I hate to say it, but is the screen time. You get guys downstairs
because you now have internet on the boat,
and it's like we'll go to serve dinner and you got 23 grown men sitting there and they're all playing on their phones. It's like, oh my God, you guys, really
go out and enjoy the air.
Yeah. Or they're all inside. And I'm like, hey, look at this out here. You got some whales breaching or some other stuff going on. And it's like, you're not ever going to get a chance to see this. It's grease calm and you're all playing on your phone. So, I mean, you can do what you want. That's fine and all, but I'll make announcements and say, hey guys, get off your little phones, man.
Yeah.
Come on out and check this out.
It's a beautiful day. And
there's,
calm.
I mean, it is a nice tool to have, especially if guys are doing business, they pick up emails, stay in touch at home with that WhatsApp is awesome.
Yeah.
But enough's enough,
The plague of society. Hey, I have a great text here from Gwen. Let's see. It's Aaron in Santa Barbara. And Aaron says, what are some of the mistakes you see made on long range newbies and how do you avoid them?
The biggest mistake that I see people do is they treat a rail rod like an old harness rod. The rail rods are like, for instance, the first thing the guy does is he gets a bite, he winds down, he puts it in gear, and then he goes for that rod belt. And he loads that rod up so bad that it ends up yanking the hook right out of the fish. The rail rods have been made so that you fish them under your arm. That's how you fish a state-of-the-art fishing rod. And it is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. And it's the most irritating thing to me, because I'll be screaming from down the rail, don't put it under your arm, put the rod under your arm. But it's just human nature. You want to wind down and you want to swing, but that's not how we do it, man. You wind down, get it tight, raise the rod tip, leave it under your arm, and let it run. Let the fish run, and then it self-sets.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go. But I mean, that's one of the
Don't need the big Joel Ralston swing.
You don't need the big Joel Ralston swing. No, you don't. And the same goes with a lot of the other species, especially with wahoo fishing. I go through a pretty extensive seminar on technique, and etiquette. Etiquette's another thing, putting your gear away properly, stowing your gear, stowing the hooks, making sure that it's safe for the rest of the anglers on board. Casting etiquette, watch the lure, make a call sign as you cast out. So there's a lot of things that aren't so much based on terminal tackle and technique, but etiquette is a big part when you're fishing with other people on board. You don't want to be that guy that is considered dangerous on a sport fishing boat. You don't, people will look at you and go, oh boy, that guy's dangerous, steer clear. That's not what you want to be. You want to be the guy that's following procedure and etiquette and learning from other veterans on etiquette, how to stow and store. It's
Man, you bring up such a great point that gets overlooked so much. I mean, just stowing and storing. I mean, how many times have you had a guy walking down the rail and somebody had a marauder hook flopping around, or a jig that was attached to an eye, and an under over, let me slide by it, and all of a sudden somebody's scraping their back because there's a big hook point exposed? That it's got to happen all the time.
Yeah, or getting impaled by it, you know. And another thing is that now with the trolling lures, you've got those nomads. When we're fishing wahoo, you got these nomads, and those hooks are deadly sharp, and you look at it wrong and it tries to go in your skin. So there's a lot of stowing on that.
That's a good call,
as well, and it'll eliminate a lot of problems. And immediately what it does is it starts animosity too. If you're not stowing your gear properly after a long seminar on how to do this, then people start pointing fingers and this and that, but then they learn and go, oh yeah, you're right, man, this makes sense. The other biggie is the 8-ounce sinker that you leave on the hitting the side of the boat. That's where I come by and cut them all off, and then I put them in the bucket, and then you can come back and you can actually repurchase your 8-ounce sinker on board the boat, at any given time. The shop's open all the time. Yeah,
that's great.
You can. It might not be on the rod and reel anymore, but it's available. Yeah, you can still get
for
it.
a price.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump back on the phones. 833-288-0973. Jeff standing by at the fan.
Hills and Ventura, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, you guys. Thank you. Great show. I have ridden with Andy at 2 different trips. They were like Father's Day specials. This is a long time ago. And in any case, I have 2 questions, because I know Andy's going to dodge the one question. But one question is, when there are seiners around you, are they ever cool? I mean, if it's not Aaron Barnhill, are they ever cool about it? And then the other question was, the origin of the Red Rooster 3, like, is Lee Palm a redhead, or but the origin of the name Red Rooster 3, I'm wondering.
Here's a dandy for you. Lee Palm, believe it or not, the Red Rooster came from the Korean War. The guys were in the Korean War, and there was an opium den in Korea, and it was called the Red Rooster.
Ha! No way.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. And as far as the seiners go, we've had a long history with, and it wasn't always a great history with the commercial fishing fleet in Mexico, but they seem to take less. There's less and less. How should I say it? There's less and less seiners in the territorial waters now. Most of the fishing's done outside of 12 miles, and a lot of the fishing that we do is inside of 12 miles. So we don't see as much seiner activity as we do. You remember hearing about the trips where we're at the potato bank and here comes the seiner and he just about wraps the boat. And it's like, oh my God, you know, it's kind of a scene. But a lot of that fishery now, the guys are doing outside of territorial waters. You know, and this relationship that we have with Aqua Farms, it is good, you know, and they, you know, they regulate what they do, and we share information. There's a lot of sharing of information these days because it's so easy to share information. Our overnight fleet here out of San Diego, I mean, those guys that run those boats, they talk to each other regardless of code group or this and that, you know. And the information is
information
abundant.
is key when
it's
you're fishing.
abundant, you know. And that's why you always see, you know, you'll see an area of fish pop up, but it's, you know, it's detrimental that they all get a piece. You know, everybody just wants to get a piece. And of course, there's going to be one guy that gets more than the other. But the fact of the matter is, as long as everybody gets some, you know, that's what it matters, you know. And you're always
you don't need a bunch. You just need some.
No, but there's always going to be a highliner, and that's just the nature of the sport. But, you know, the fact is that as long as everybody can get some, and that's kind of what the industry is going towards, that direction. You know, everybody just wants to get a piece. So
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I have a little bit of long text here from Santos and Escondido, but it's a good one here. It's got a lot of questions. Good morning, guys. Always tuned to the show. Question for Andy. On a long-range trip, 6, 8, 10 day, I enjoy fishing the spinning rod. On the bow, throwing stick baits and poppers on the surface for yellowfin and yellowtail. The last trip I went, I got popped off a couple of times on a big yellowfin. I typically use 65-pound Spectra and a 3-foot top shot of 50-pound fluoro. I adjust the drag for the line that I'm using. Do you have any recommendations to keep me from getting popped off?
I would have to guess that you're swinging. As soon as that thing hits it, you're swinging. What you want to do is wind through it. You know, it's just like fishing a long rod. You know, guys fishing surface iron on a conventional reel. When you get a bite on the surface iron, you keep the rod pointed at the fish and you wind through it. Yeah, you
whether
wind.
it's a spinning reel or
yeah, I mean, that might be why you're popping them off, is because you're watching it, and you're spinning, and then you see one come up and hit it, and you yank it right away from them. You know, just keep the rod pointed at it, even on the spinning reel. Either lower the rod tip down a little bit and keep turning the handle, and they'll grab it and change direction, and then you'll have more success.
Yeah, and a better hook set.
Absolutely, man. That whole wind down and swing thing,
no,
it's not happening, man. It's not.
Just wind.
Yeah, you turn the handle, wind through the bite, and you'll have success.
Good. That's a really good suggestion.
Hey, I had a good text come through. Says, "Good morning, guys. Which unique long-range destination does Captain Andy most enjoy getting to go fishing? I know you do trips of all lengths. What is the spot you're most excited to get to go to?"
I like going to the Ridge.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ridge offers a lot of areas within an area that are all achievable even that day or by an overnight travel, and the variety down there, anywhere from a 80-pound tuna to here to find out this year, a 100-pound wahoo.
Yeah, totally.
100-pound wahoo.
Yeah, one of the searcher got a fish that was 105 pounds. Alan Limberg got a 96-pounder or something. You know,
you had a lot of big ones on the roost.
We had a couple in the 90s. We had one that was 97. But I mean, this was some of the best fishing that I've seen in at least 10 years, as far as grade and numbers. And here it all comes down to, we were fishing offshore. You know, that wasn't structure fish. That was kelp patty fishing. You know, that minus what you saw down in the marlin grounds, but that was just that huge volume that came up and spread out all over everywhere. There was some on the shallows, but the majority of it was right off on the fathom curve, you know, in that pristine water. It was spectacular.
And kelp patties too.
Yeah. Well, you remember the years prior where we were northeast of the rocks by the Rosa Bank, and we were it was kelp patty fishing then. And that was, I mean, thinking back on it, I don't even know how long ago that was. It was, 15 years ago. So that is where we found not only the numbers, but the grade.
The grade.
This was spectacular.
Yeah.
This year was spectacular. Alejos, not so much. You know, there was a couple of stints early in the year at Aleos Rocks on stock grade fish, you know, and hey, a 35-pound wahoo is a beauty.
Take that.
I love a 35-pound wahoo, but when things get ramped up and all of a sudden the average fish is 75 to 85 pounds.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's really something.
Yeah.
Really something.
Really
man.
something.
It was spectacular. This year was spectacular. If we saw anything like that again next year, it would be monumental.
Yeah. Well, what the predicted El Nino here, maybe we'll have them right in our backyard here.
we may.
You never know.
You never know. You do never know. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, every year is different. That's the one thing you can count on. Whatever happened this year, it's going to be different next year, whether it be terminal tackle, whether it be areas you're fishing, whether it be grade that you're fishing. You know, I mean, it's all relative. You go, a 25-pounder, but a 25-pound fish on certain days is, you know, I guess it just depends on what the, like, if you're in an arena and you're catching 25-pound fish and then you catch a 50-pounder amongst that, you're the hero.
That's it.
It's just the arena that you're in.
Catch a 25-pounder on the new Seaforth this afternoon. Until
Right.
You're not fired
Yeah.
up.
In that arena, you're completely fired up. You know, it's just like anywhere, man. And you're in the arena and you happen to get a couple or one of the biggest fish of the day. You're the hero, man. You're the man that day. So it's but I do like going to the Ridge because of the variety of the options. And once you get there, you're there. You know, it's great. It really is a great arena.
That's a good answer.
All right. Hey, with that said, it's time to find out what's going on the water. It's time for our fishdope.com report by the Anglers Realtor, Yosef Husseini. Yosef Husseini. The Catch Report today is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing orders for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest in customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure you make your reservation today. I went by Fisherman's Processing yesterday and picked up one of those 35-pound wahoo that you were talking about.
Nice.
A great bud who just came back from the Royal Polaris and slid a fish our way. And, man, they make it so easy. It is so nice. You just get to roll in there. You see all the smiling faces of the girls behind the counter, and Marilee's in the back making sure everything ran smooth as usual. And it was just quick in, quick out. Boys got stickers and were fired up and seeing everybody cutting and knives moving. And it was just really cool to see Fisherman's Processing having a big day yesterday with a couple of boats coming back.
Cool.
And yeah, it was really, really fun. And as you know, the quality is just
the best.
It's unbeatable, man. Pretty slick. Hey, we're going to find out what's going on. Yosef's on the line. Good morning, Yosef.
Hey, good morning, guys. We've got some pretty decent wintertime fishing going on. Up in the Santa Monica Bay area, there is squid showing up. It's mostly around tanker buoys and in the Redondo Canyon. Calico bass and sand bass fishing has been really good at the Santa Monica Artificial Reef. They caught 4 to 8 pound sand bass last week up there.
Wow. 8 pounds.
Whew. Yeah.
So that means the average was 5-6 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's like your picture there.
There's also still some triggerfish around and decent sculpin bite up there. Sculpin bite's been on the El Segundo Pipe, 40 to 200 feet of water. Up in Catalina, there's a small number of sea bass and yellowtail being caught on the live squid. Some of the sea bass.
Oh.
The hard bottom, 10 to 15 water. On the front side, there's still plenty of bonita around. There are the 1 and 2 pounders still, but there is a decent amount of 4 to 7 pound class fish scattered around the island. San Clemente, Calico bass continue to be super good fishing at the boiler rocks in the backside and deep inside the kelp line. Most people that are able to get up against the kelp there are scoring some big calicos right now. So using big swim baits and crank baits. La Jolla also has been pretty hit and miss lately as far as the bonita bite goes. Some days it's really good. Other days it's pretty slow and scratchy. But they're still biting out there. They're still
hopefully right after that, right back to this good and another full
Not
week
wide
of
open. Bigger fish over in the La Jolla area, some home guards.
All right.
Lower.
But anyway, $30 off of membership, and this is the time when important. Summertime, all your buds are out there, everybody's fishing. It's easy to gather up information, but when there's not a lot of guys on the water, it's nice to have the biggest code group around, and that's fishdope.com.
Yeah, and then of course for real estate, nobody's better than Joseph Husseini. He is the best when it comes to real estate in the county, and just go and search for him and get on it, and you get a free home eval of your home, no obligation or anything, and that's always great. Well, thanks to Joseph. Sorry we had issues with the phone there. Maybe some cell internet connection issues. And we'll talk to Joseph and the fishdope.com report next week.
There it is. Hey, I want to remind you, it's sponsored part by Gamakatsu. They've got an amazing line of fishing accessories that are now available that includes fillet knives, everyday carry knives, those great G boxes and bags to store all your tackle, the ceramic braid scissors and more, along with the best in freshwater and saltwater tackle and hooks. It's all available at your local dealer, or you can check gamakatsu.com.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, hey, we were having some internet issues today, and we apologize for that. So, but we'll get Joseph's report again next week for sure.
Got it. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More phone calls, more with Captain Andy. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, as well as Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It may be winter in Southern California, but those of us who live here know it's a great time of year to go fishing, and certainly not time to put your gear away. This is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. This is the ideal time for bay bass fishing, and I get the inside scoop from Johnny. Heck, he will even rent you one of our killer blue skiffs. This is also a good time to go work on your reels, and Doug is the man for that job. If big largemouth bass are your bag, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. They have all the right stuff and live bait for a perfect day on the lake. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is super cool too, for both freshwater and saltwater tackle. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
This President's Day, your San Diego County Ford dealers proudly salute you during the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. Right now, get limited time deals across Ford's award-winning lineup. The lineup features the versatile Ford Bronco Sport and the rugged Ford Bronco, built for every adventure, the capable Ford Explorer, and even the iconic Ford Mustang. It's your chance to save. Find the perfect Ford SUV designed with the power and utility you need now during the President's Day Sell-a-thon. Everything ends February 16th, so don't wait. Hurry into your local San Diego County Ford dealers today.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Cedros Sportfishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Captain Andy Kate to the Red Rooster 3. It's been a very busy morning, but we still have time for your phone call. If you want to get through, it's 833-288-0973, and there's a pile of great text message questions as well, but keep them coming, man. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure. Steve from Tahoe says, great show this morning with Andy. Andy, what's your favorite meal on the Red Rooster 3? And that's one of the things we really haven't talked about is the food on these long range boats like the Red Rooster 3.
Yeah, the food is really spectacular. The guys put a lot of effort into it, and there's two people in the galley. There are two chefs really, and whether it be for prep or whether it be for the dining, it's a lot of work goes on in there. I know it's going to sound kind of weird, but Mike Knoll is one of our lead chefs, and he makes this manicotti, and it's like at the end of the trip, it's usually the last day and it's winding down, but the amount of effort that goes into it and the overall end finale of it. And there's the prime rib and there's the steaks and there's this and there's that and there's the fish dinners and and the lamb and the pork and the pork chops and all these great things. But that manicotti,
that's your favorite dish.
I don't know what it is, man, but I always look forward to it. And a lot of people just kind of take it for granted, manicotti. God, man, it comes out.
But it's like being dining at a 5-star restaurant.
It is nice, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks,
and people got to understand that there are misses. It's just there's nights where it's not, this happened or that happened or the weather's rough. There are.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
when the weather's rough, trying to cook and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you got to take that into consideration. But for the average, I would say 90% of the seatings are very nice. Where you're very happy with what was served.
It always blows me away the level that those guys can operate at in the space that they have to do it too. I mean, these are like polished meals that look killer, that have all the sides and garnish and all the things that go into it. And it's a chef and his assistant knocking that out for 30 guys or 25 guys, whatever it is and it's like the number of hits outweigh beyond anything. It's such an impressive, it really is. Like these guys don't have a giant commercial kitchen with, dozens of sous chefs helping them through the way. It's a couple of guys, and what they kick out is just spectacular.
Nor can you replenish.
Right. Right. Great point. Totally.
Once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, you may have to slide over to another boat for some more Coors Banquet beers, but but for the most part, once it's gone, and the guys, improvise and change things around a little bit. So it may not be exactly, but just the provisioning and getting everything on board is
think about the duty of the chef, that's managing produce on a trip that's 15 days long.
I know.
Holy mackerel.
What's amazing is that, the packaging these days with, for instance, something like salad, that you can get it 15 days. It'll last.
Really?
Actually,
you have a fresh salad.
Well,
on
that
day
spring
14.
mix for some reason, a lot of the boats have switched over to a spring mix instead of like an iceberg, because the iceberg, falls apart. But that spring mix, you can have salads until the last day.
Wow.
It's really something.
Pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. So want to remind you that the day before Day at the Docks, Sunday night, the 19th is Day at the Docks. Saturday is the annual bottom fishing tournament at Southwestern Yacht Club. It is one of the premier events of the spring, no doubt. And all the proceeds go to raising money to go take kids fishing. It all goes to Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, Friends of Rollo.
Cool.
So it's shotgun start on Saturday, and then they have a great no-host bar, and then dinner with live auction. The live auction is live auction, and then also raffle prizes. They raise a ton of money that way for the kids' fishing programs, but you can walk away with some pretty amazing prizes at that raffle too.
There's like so many divisions or ways that you can win. They have men's and women's divisions,
kids,
they have juniors and small fries, your heaviest stringer of 5 rockfish, the biggest fish on a sailboat, the biggest lingcod. Like there's all kinds of things that they do, like different jackpots, different levels. And at the end of it, it's a rad club, all raising money for Friends of Rollo.
Super good people. And early bird registration ends April 3rd. You're invited. Everybody is invited. Everybody's welcome to come. Easiest way to get in is find one of their posters or go online and just scan the QR code and get in and register for that. So check that out. So again, it's the Southwestern Yacht Club's April 18th bottom fishing tournament, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're available to go fishing, grab a buddy and go check it out.
Yeah, well said. Well, hey, with that said, we had another great text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. What a great show!" And I was blown away at the size of bluefin that Captain Andy had on the last trip. Are you seeing in general larger bluefin this year as compared to last year? How do you think that big grade is going to affect things as we roll into our next fishing season? Will it have any bearing on the fish that we catch locally? That's from Daniel in Santa Barbara.
Well, that's a good question because there's been big fish seen so far this year, anywhere from the 32 line down. So there's, a long line of it. That particular area down there was concentrated. So it was quite a sight to see. But, maybe this year we will have more fish that are in that bigger range. I don't know, because last year it seemed a little lean.
Right.
There was a couple of hits for sure, but it did seem a little lean on that trophy fish. And I'm not downgrading an 80 to 120 pounder.
Funny. Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful fish and a trophy in that arena. Once again, you gotta put yourself in the arena, but it's impossible to tell. I mean, I could sit here and say, yeah. And then, but that's what makes this whole thing so, inspiring and so attractive, is that you just don't know what's going to happen and you don't know when it's going to start. There was been years where the guys have started fishing in April and maybe with weather permitting, we'll see that this year and give guys a chance to spread their wings that time of the year. Just have an early season, mind you, that might be when the bigger fish are around. I have no idea. You just got to pay attention to what's going on some of the reports, as the boats are going. A lot of the boats are doing maintenance right now, but they're going to be ready and geared up for April and hopefully to get some boats out during April. And then May seems to be a pretty popular month for this fishery. So you'll just have to keep in mind there. It's hard to say, but there was a pretty good long line of fish. And for whatever reason, it just seems like I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it, but it seems like there's more and more, man. It's
crazy. It's better this year than last year.
I don't know. I'm not going
to. There was a lot of fish around last year. There was a lot of fish around there. Let's just keep it coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to put your foot down on any of that, but it's as of right now with this spectacular weather permitting is one thing too. You got to remember that if weather gets poor, fish go down.
Right.
It's just the way it is. But weather permitting and a good stretch in May and June, and you may have an opportunity to catch a big tuna.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, John from Mira Mesa says, I always love nostalgia whenever Andy's on the show. May 1st, my first 5-day trip was with you on the Red Rooster many years ago. It was with Russ Iser, and he was on the boat with fishing Bonita, Cedros, fishing Guadalupe. Have great memories of that experience. Also bittersweet that we no longer have Chef Frank and Russ around. But you remember that long time ago, fishing with Russ Iser way back? Or was that before you were on the
That was probably before I was there.
How long have you been on the Rooster?
Since 92.
92. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And
Russ I don't want to date myself.
Yeah,
but
Russ was around back then.
Oh, yeah,
And-
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Steve comes out and Jim come out, and we do a couple of Iserline trips with them. And Steve's doing great.
Yeah. So did you start as captain on the Red Rooster?
No, I was 22 years old.
And deckhand.
Yeah, I was deckhand.
Yeah.
And
who was running the boat then?
John was Grabowski.
Oh, Grabowski. Was
Yeah,
running it.
he
Wow.
ran the boat from 92 to 95, and then Gribble ran the boat for a little bit, and then then I moved in. So the timing was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was. It was a kid. Man. It was
Yeah.
terrifying.
And so you took over. How old were you when you took over?
27.
27.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said,
There's a lot of eyeballs looking up at you.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, who's this kid? As a lot of the young men that are involved in this, they all have that same introductory, that same beautiful introductory, like their first trip, whether it be on, the New Loan or any boat in the fleet, man, it's just as terrifying.
Yeah. So where did you start? Where did you start your
well, my
fishing
dad
career?
owned the New Loan. Him and Buzz Brizendine were partners with the
Nick
Prowler.
Cates.
Yeah, Nick Cates. And so as I was growing up, the New Loan was used as disciplinary measures.
Disciplinary measurement.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Explain that to me.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was surf all summer, and then if I didn't get the average was so every week during junior high, I had to take a progress report, every Friday, I would take a progress report to each teacher, and there were 6 classes. So I'd had to take it. And if I didn't have a C in the grade or a satisfactory in the citizenship, the board was going back to Sun Harbor locker.
Whoa.
Yeah. So every week was just like,
and then you were condemned to the new Loran.
yeah, they're either condemned or just no board.
Oh, just no board.
Because it was off season, just no board. So that was a disciplinary move. And then if we had severe issues, then it was summoned to the boat in July.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And worked the deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
good for us that you were sub-satisfactory.
Yeah, no, I made it.
Sure.
I made it. The C and I tried everything. Like I'd get a C minus and I'd put a plus on there. Just a modification.
Yeah, a little modification.
Yeah. The hard part was when it was a U instead of an S. It was like hard to modify that.
Yeah,
that's rough.
And you grew up right around here in Point Loma.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. When my dad had the fish and fool, he had the fish and fool first, and then he had the new Loan in partnership with Buzz. He had the Prowler. At that time in 7th grade, I lived over in Bay Park.
Okay.
And went to PB Junior High, and then went to Mission Bay High. But there was a couple of intern schools. One of them was Keeler Middle School. It was over by Lincoln High. Because I had such a hard time getting to the school. That was the hard time because
your dad was out on the boat.
End up at PB Point.
Down
at PB Drive.
Surf was good.
Gotcha.
Deviate.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay, let's see how you deviate when we bus you down to Encanto. And you can go to Keeler Middle School for that. So ironically, it went from four Fs and 2 Ds and 72 truancies to all A's and B's.
That's great.
Imagine that. He's like, so let's just say you do walk off this campus. Where do you think you're going? And in the 80s, the early 80s, that area down there, it was
a little rough,
a little rugged.
Yeah.
Euclid was a little rugged for a little skinny white kid running around.
But you turned out pretty well. Andy.
Everything.
Nick did a good job.
He did. It was a struggle for him.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, it's hard because he's on the boat a lot.
It was hard.
Yeah,
it's a great story.
It was hard.
And you're still surfing today.
Oh yeah, I'm about ready to get geared up. I just picked up a new board yesterday from Bill Menard.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go head over the hill here and give it a whirl.
Yeah, there's some surf.
I mean, look at the weather.
I know.
Crazy. We took the boys down to the pier yesterday, man. It's just there's some real surf going on.
Yesterday was really big.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, yesterday was like, and the wind got on it pretty early, but yesterday was big. Today's going to be a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Sharice and Hunting Spade says, good morning, guys. Great show as usual. I'm booking a trip for my birthday in June, a 3-day on the Red Rooster. What can I expect to fish on that trip?
Well, that's when we were talking about that nighttime fishing. That's been pretty prolific in June. And, there could be possibilities of daytime drifts as well. But at that time of year, it's generally bluefin tuna, and there may be a chance at some small yellowtail on kelp patties. But that's an offshore arena. And this may be the trip where you go out and you catch 100-pound bluefin, and then you get your camera ready, you put it up on the scale, and then you get home after your 3-day decompression, get away from work, and then you can show everybody at work what your mighty catch was. And let's just say it's a 50-pounder. Beautiful nonetheless. Nonetheless. So I would expect to do an offshore type fishing trip. And I hope, like everybody hopes, that you leave the dock and you have flat calm weather for 3 days.
That's it.
That would be beautiful.
That's sometimes challenging in June.
It can be challenging in June,
but you never know.
Let's not call it flat calm. Let's call it 8 to 12 knots.
We're fine with that.
Yeah, that's good.
We're good with
that. Because that's a big. I mean, the Rooster is how big?
105 feet.
It's a big boat.
Yeah, she'll have plenty of room.
Solid.
Yeah, she'll have plenty of room. Spacious. Have her own restroom, shower.
Yeah.
Be in good shape.
Yeah,
I love
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
And a fun text is, Captain Andy, I love this show, having so much fun with you guys. I love fishing yellowtail. It's my favorite thing. I was wondering if you could give us a rundown of where the best place and best opportunity at catching a big yellowtail, say over 30 pounds, is on the coast. What's your favorite yellowtail spots?
On the coast, one of the premier areas that still stands, and even up until, last week in February, is the banks at Alejos Rocks.
Okay.
That was producing some nice yellowtail there. Anytime in the early part of the year along the ridge, you've heard of the 13 fathom, the 23 fathom spot. Anytime June, July, when the water's still cold, that's where we have seen some of the most spectacular yellowtail fishing from top water. And then along the beach up there, you've got other areas, meaning San Pablo, and then down below Natividad and some of those areas that are available down there. But the yellowtail thing, for the most part, the best time of year on the ridge even is July, August, and then that fish starts to move up off the ridge because it gets hot. As the ridge gets warm, people always say, we're catching wahoo, but how come we're not getting any yellowtail? It's like, well, because the water's 77 degrees.
Yeah,
When the water gets 77, they move up the beach to another shallow, perhaps Hippolito, perhaps San Pablo, perhaps, whatever that calls for a little cooler temperatures, maybe 71 degrees, 69 degrees, something like that. So the yellowtail are going to move up, and you may be up the way. But traditionally, that water around the ridge and all those shallows there in June, July, and the first part of August is in the low 70s or the high 60s, and you have an opportunity to see what you're hoping to see, like you've never seen in your life.
Do you ever catch the crazy standout big ones in the same areas that you catch big numbers of them? Like you always hear over the years, there's a 90 pound or an 80 pounder at Guadalupe or a 70 pounder here or there. Like
not on the ridge. A big one on the ridge is probably 50 pounds.
Sure,
which is
giant.
which is a dandy.
Giant, yeah.
And I haven't heard of. There was a few monsters last year for a little period of time. Just like one here, one there, one here, but there was fish up in the 70s at Alejos. At Alejos,
So yellowtail.
Cool. Yeah, there was a couple of big ones that were caught, and I mean, it's like anything, you go out and you try for the fish, and you may be the chosen one.
Sure,
if
all places were open, all places were available, you could go anywhere to catch one. Does the biggest one come from Alejos? Does the biggest one come from Guadalupe? Does the biggest one come from Cedros?
I think that the biggest fish came from the outside.
Okay.
Meaning Guadalupe and Alejos Rocks. There was big fish back in the day around Cedros, schools of big fish where we had those that one spectacular decade where, I mean, if you caught a 32 pounder, it was little.
Crazy.
It was all that 32 to 45 pound fish. And that was when we were fishing up in the shallows in the sand, all the way up the lee of the island. I mean, it was absolutely spectacular.
Wow.
And then for whatever reason, that fishery kind of started to I shouldn't say decline, but it just became a little bit more spotty, the condition change, whatever the case was. But we were always very responsible with what, regulations and what we kept, as far as those trips go. So, whether they moved down or whether they moved out, who knows? But
cycle in, cycle out.
It's just one of those things. And it does seem like once you get onto a bit of a pattern, then there is a pattern, and you'll see that fishery for a couple of years or 2 or 3 years. And then you'll see it move to another zone or something like that. Like this year, we had a great year at San Pablo, the shallows around San Pablo. And last year, not so much. It's just, and you think, oh, we're doomed. And then the next year you're like, oh my God, it's great again. And the grade there's beautiful, 18 to 25 pound fish with some sneakers in there, sneaker picture ones,
Love
32 pounder, something like that. I mean, it's spectacular.
Yeah. Hey, Matt in LA wants to know what's the history behind the Red Rooster. I mean, there's been obviously 3 Red Roosters, right?
Well, we started with the name. Somebody asked about the name from the Korean War, and the first boat that Lee Palm had, and he had multiple boats at time. They actually had a bait fishing boat. He had receivers, so they had
his own receivers.
Yeah. And then remember that big anchor that's over there?
Yeah.
The Lee Palm drug that up.
No kidding.
The big anchor over there at Point Loma Seafoods.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
He drug that up, and he had it up on the beach forever. It was up there on the beach, and then somebody dragged it up and put it in the cul-de-sac there.
That's cool.
But anyway, so the Red Rooster 1 is
so
now
we only about 30 seconds. So let's do it.
Ranger 85.
That's
the Red Rooster
is the old Red Rooster.
Yes, the original Red Rooster. The Red Rooster 2 is the Islander.
The Islander. Yeah.
The 3 or the Chubasco is now the Old Glory.
And that was the 2.5.
No, it was called the Chubasco. At one time, they had the Chubasco and the Islander, or the Red Rooster 2 side by each.
And then the Red Rooster 3 was built in
82.
82.
Yeah, so they got rid of the other boats to finance the Red Rooster 3.
Wow.
I love it, man. Hey, well, as you can hear, we had a great show coming for you. You stay tuned. Somebody's winning that brand new AFTCO waterproof dry bag. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Adding a fish finder to my fishing kayak completely changed the way I fish. I'm Logan from Fastlane Kayaks, and I've been fishing from a Hobie kayak for over 4 years now. For about half that time, I was fishing without a fish finder, and trust me, it's called fishing blind for a reason. But don't just take my word for it. Here at Fastlane Kayaks, we've been installing and using fish finders on Hobie kayaks for over 25 years. Over all that time, we've done our fair share of trial and error to find the best mounts and methods for rigging a kayak. So instead of trying to learn 25 years of experience through endless YouTube videos, just drop your kayak off at Fastlane. Every Fastlane install is clean, user-friendly, and built to last in real saltwater conditions. One way we do that is by housing all the fuses and electrical connections inside a small waterproof case. Keeps everything protected, organized, and easy to access. Whether you're looking to add a fish finder, install a motor, or upgrade into a brand new fishing kayak, come by Fastlane Sailing and Kayaking in Mission Bay or give us a call at 619-222-0766.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Talica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear built with a Southern California angler in mind. The new Talica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time. Okay, it's time to find out who's got that killer AFCO waterproof dry backpack coming their way. Andy's going to flip the prize coin here.
Oh, boy.
We'll see if we have a caller or a texter. Go ahead, Andy. Do us the honors.
Pressure's on.
Ooh, nice flip. We have a caller today. Congratulations, Steve in Lakeside. You've got yourself a brand new AFCO Slammer waterproof dry backpack, courtesy of our good bros up at AFCO.
All right. Yeah, that AFCO stuff is just unbelievable. Check it out,
nice.
AFCO.com. And hey, Andy, thank you so much. Always a pleasure and just a riot having you on the show here. If somebody wants to ride the Red Rooster 3 this year, are there spots available in summer? And such?
There are some spots available on certain trips. And then preseason, June, there's some 3-day trips that are available. But like I said, we should have electronically, we should be available here shortly. But if not, you can call the office at 619-224-3857. And Maria's there. Maria's
awesome.
Yeah, she'll be she's there 5 days a week from 8 to 4.
then Red Rooster, the number 3.com is the website.
It's
Red Rooster, the number 3.com. Hey, thanks, Andy. Hey, thank you to Jeff and Adam for manning all the technologies there. And thanks to you out there. Next Saturday, Captain Tim and Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star will be here. And then Sunday, Ollie and Chris from Blue Sea Stabilizers and BD Outdoors. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
KWFN HD1 San Diego.
This is Craig Stammen, manager of the Padres. Craig Stammen with a 1-2-3, 3 strikeout, 8th inning. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station.